Hi, this is Anna Crowe with the Get Real podcast, where CEOs, CMOs, and communications experts share their real advice. It's 6 questions under 9 minutes because we get to it real fast. So let's get to it. Thrilled to introduce today's guest. In a few sentences, could you tell us who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. My name is Larissa May. Most people know me as Lars, and I'm the founder and executive director of Half the Story, which is a nonprofit organization on a mission to empower the next generation's relationship with technology. And I'm also the co founder of the Global Day of Unplugging, which is actually this weekend from August 1st to 2nd.
I love that. And I want to learn more about that too, even after the podcast. But welcome to the show. Excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you. Larissa, what would you say is the best thing about being a leader in your industry?
The best thing about being a leader in the digital wellness industry is that I've been a part of it for really the past 5 years before it even hit the mainstream, the conversation surrounding mental health and social media. So, what I've been able to really understand is how the younger generation's relationship with technology has changed, but also how businesses have shifted their strategies and helped them bridge these two things together in order to drive a positive impact. One of the greatest things about this space, too, is that right now technology is our lifeline and our work is more important than ever because we can't just say goodbye to technology. We have to develop healthy relationships with it in the same way that we have to develop healthy relationships with food. So that's what we're here to do to help parents, to help organizations and schools to teach kids that from the start.
Oh, that's so true. And that's such an important mission that you have. And it's critical today more than ever. So kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you.
Of course. Larissa, I hear from other successful executives and entrepreneurs that creating authentic connections can be challenging, especially with all the noise today. You talk about technology and social media, a lot of noise. What's your take on that?
I think it's really challenging to break through the noise if you don't know who you are and you don't focus on your people. The only reason that Half the Story exists today is because 5 years ago, every single day for a year, I video chatted a young person in a different country to understand how technology was affecting them. As a business leader, as a business owner, you cannot create a product, organization, and just throw it out into the world and expect for it to happen. You have to know your customers and you have to know them intimately. And more importantly, you have to know the people that are going to be the advocates who are going to light that fire in pyro marketing, your driest tinder, and spread the word about what you're doing because it's impossible for a business to do that on its own. Word of mouth is the best thing that can happen for your business or mission.
That's so true, and I hear some really great sound bites of advice there. Do you have any other real advice? Anything else that you think other leaders should know?
I think that as marketers right now, so many people are concerned with how do I connect with these,
Mhm.
customers? How do I break through the noise? Who are my competitors and what are we doing? I think right now we have to stop and we have to listen and we have to be okay with rewriting the rules for everything that we do. And it can't just happen within our own ecosystems and our businesses. It has to happen through surveys, focus groups, and real conversations with our customers. And so that's something that a lot of marketers haven't been talking about right now. And I think as marketers, you're so focused on what am I saying? But we all just need to focus on listening for a little bit, especially with everything that's happening.
Absolutely. That's fantastic advice. Understanding your customer, actively listening, really trying to bring some value based on the problems is so important. I love that advice. Well, Larissa, before we get to our final fun question, are there any other successful executives such as yourself that you would like to give a shout out to or think should be on this podcast?
Absolutely. So there's an amazing woman that I love. Her name is Alicia Ramos, and she started a company called the Girls Night In Club. And it started with a newsletter that she wrote to young women who liked to stay in instead of go out. And she actually just recently launched a membership club, and it's thriving. She's brilliant. And she also really self-funded this. Another person is Priscilla Ty, who's the founder of Coco Kind. She actually wrote Half the Story's first ever grant check, and she has built a multi-million-dollar organic beauty beauty brand, and she also bootstrapped that business. And I think right now, especially with the venture bubble popping, there is going to be a shift and a return back to building profitable businesses from the start, taking in less money and bootstrapping. And we really need to be listening to the people who've done this successfully if we want to continue innovating in a way that's sustainable for ourselves, our employees, and also the world.
They sound incredible. Thank you for those recommendations.
Of course.
Well, our last question is more about where you got started. Can you tell us about your first job?
Absolutely. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 10 years old. So my first official job was actually an actress. I wanted to become a professional actor when I was little. I asked for headshots for my birthday, really did that whole thing. But outside of that, I realized that I like to be in control. And you can't really be in control when you're in acting. You just get told no a million times in a row, which is one of the best things that a young person can hear. And so I decided that I was going to I was too young to be a babysitter. So I created a business card on Vistaprint that was a rubber duck, and it was the Mother's Helpers business. And I figured out what my value proposition was going to be, and that it was that every time I was going to bring a craft or activity that had nothing to do with television. And that was my first business.
Wow. You're amazing. I just love everything you stand for, and super incredible entrepreneurial drive. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Larissa, how can people get a hold of you?
How can you get a hold of me? That's a good question. Everyone's wondering that. I'm just kidding. But you can find me on Instagram at Livin' Like Lars, or Twitter, or you can reach me through our organization at Half the Story on Instagram.
Wonderful. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Anna Crowe with the Get Real podcast. For more insights, visit us at crowepr.com. Thanks so much and make it a great day.